Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into a really crucial briefing. We're talking about the GS6507 Assessment 3, which is your strategic meeting blueprint. So settle in, focus up, and let's get you completely ready for this major professional simulation.
50%. Let that sink in for a second. Half of your entire course grade rests on this single assessment. It's a huge deal. But hey, don't worry, I'm here to map out your exact path to success so you can walk into that room with absolute confidence, fully prepared for the challenges ahead. Here's our roadmap for today. First, the strategic meeting overview. Then meeting roles, the step-by-step process, building arguments, and finally, the grading rubric. Let's jump right in. Section 1, the strategic meeting overview. Let's clearly define the environment you're about to step into. So, what exactly is this assessment? Well, you're entering a 30 to 35-minute structured business meeting. You'll be in a team of 5 or 6 members made up of a proposition, an opposition, and a chair. Your task? Debating a major organizational change. Now, this isn't just a casual chat. Imagine walking into a high-stakes boardroom where literally every word is scrutinized. It's a rigorous test of your professional communication, your adaptability, and your critical thinking under some incredibly tight time constraints. Moving on to Section 2, meeting roles. Let's take a look at the specific players in the room. If you're on the proposition team, you are essentially for the proposed change. You're playing offense. Your duty is to open the case, fiercely advocate for the proposal, present your main arguments backed by hard, verifiable evidence, and actively rebut the opposition. On the flip side, if you're on the opposition team, you are against the change. Your job is to meticulously tear down the proposal, logically counter the proposition's points, and present your own robust arguments to prove exactly why this change should be rejected. Now, let's dedicate a moment to what's probably the most complex role in the room, the chair. The chair has this unique dual role. They act as the neutral manager of the meeting flow, sure, but they're also an active, independent participant with their own meticulously researched position. It's a really delicate balancing act of authority and active contribution. The strict boundaries for the chair are absolute. Listen closely if you draw this role. You do not join or strategize with the proposition or opposition teams before the meeting. You do not share evidence, and you definitely don't play favorites. However, you do prepare your own independent evidence and arguments beforehand. After hearing both sides, you might side with either team based purely on the evidence. Or you could even pitch a modified proposal. And this is key. You only cast a vote to break a tie. You are the independent anchor in the room. Okay, now that you know your role, let's map out exactly when you'll speak in Section 3, the step-by-step process. This timeline maps out exactly how your 30 minutes will unfold. Notice how every single role has a strict timed window to execute their responsibilities. The meeting opens with a 2-minute welcome by the chair. Then, the first speakers for both prop and op each get 2 to 4 minutes to lay their groundwork. Next, the chair steps in for a 2-minute neutral comment before inviting the second speakers, who also have 2 to 4 minutes each for rebuttals. After that, the chair shifts hats, taking 2 to 4 minutes to speak as an active participant. Finally, the chair leads a 2 to 3 minute summary and group vote. Pulling off this timeline flawlessly is absolutely critical for your team's success. Section 4. Building arguments. Let's talk about what actually happens when your 4-minute timer starts. How do you construct a winning argument? Well, every speaker has to use these 4 mandatory building blocks. Step 1, the motion. Clearly state your stance. Step 2, the argument. State your main claim. Step 3, evidence. Provide your verifiable cited proof. And step 4, reasoning. Actually, really pay attention to this last step because this is where most students lose points. A statistic alone just isn't an argument until you explicitly explain why it proves your point. You must logically connect your data right back to your claim to truly persuade the room. To uncover that deep evidence and anticipate your opponent's loopholes, ask yourself these essential guide questions during your prep. Will this proposal actually solve the problem? Who benefits and who's disadvantaged? Are those impacts distributed fairly across the organization? Is the proposal practical, given the very real constraints on time and resources? Are there similar past cases you can point to for historical proof? And if the proposal is rejected, what's a better alternative? If you can answer these questions clearly and confidently, your case is going to be incredibly strong. Finally, let's address the ultimate standard of your performance in Section 5, the grading rubric. Consider this point split very carefully. Out of 100 total marks, teamwork accounts for 35.
But individual performance? That commands 65 marks. So while this is absolutely a team simulation, the vast majority of your grade rests squarely on your individual shoulders, your rigorous preparation, and your personal delivery.
Let's break down the teamwork criteria to see what it takes to hit those top marks. Under role clarity, the expectation is masterful team unity. Your coordination has to be instinctive, with incredibly smooth transitions between speakers. For registers and EQ, you need a highly accurate professional tone. Disagreements must be handled constructively, proving your emotional intelligence under pressure. Oh, and your attire must be impeccable. Dress for the boardroom, not the classroom. Finally, for time management, the flow must be flawless. You need strict adherence to your time limits without rushing or dragging out your speech. You have to absolutely respect the clock.
Now, let's focus on that massive 65-mark individual chunk. Achieving a perfect score here demands pure excellence. For richness in arguments, you need a masterful grasp of the topic, integrating high-quality, verifiable data and real-world case studies. For synthesis and reasoning, you've got to acknowledge counterpoints and show a really sophisticated understanding of trade-offs. You have to prove you see the whole board, not just your team's side. For mastery in speech, we're looking for flawless pronunciation, commanding vocal variety, and, this is the big one, zero use of notes. Seriously, do not read to the room. Finally, for energy and body language, bring engaging, purposeful gestures and project a confidence that is carefully balanced with intellectual humility. That brings us right to the final moments of the meeting. The chair leads this vital closing sequence. Step 1, they concisely remind the group of the meeting's original goal. Step 2, they call for an objective vote. And it is so critical that this vote is based purely on the evidence presented, not on team loyalty or personal preference. Step 3, the chair formally announces the endorsed or rejected decision. And step 4, they thank the participants and professionally close the session. So, as you prepare to step into that room, to advocate, to counter, and to persuade, I want to leave you with this final thought. Will your evidence secure the final vote? It's all up to you now. Start your research, build your case, and good luck.